Hello everybody and warm welcome to this lesson. In this first lesson, you are going to learn how to do your yearly or monthly balance sheet, a very important and mandatory document part of your business accountancy. First of all, let's answer this basic question. What is the balance sheet? The balance sheet is the financial statement of your company that can even apply to your personal financial statement, which includes assets, liabilities, equity capital, total debt, and everything that is countable in your company through the whole accounting year. Maybe you can count through the fiscal year or your country or the period you consider the most comfortable for your company's needs. In this document, you have to include assets on one side and liabilities and equities on the other. For the balance sheet to reflect the true picture, both sides, one side, as I say, for the assets, and one side, liabilities and equities, as you can see in this slide. Should tally. So the total amount of your assets are equal to the total amount of your liabilities plus your total equity. But before to continue with the balance sheet comprehension, I'm going to explain you the basic concepts, the basic vocabulary you should know before going on with this explanation. These basic concepts are assets, liabilities, and equity. In first place, let's start explaining what assets are in the balance sheet. The assets are all the goods and rights that your company owns. In other words, let me explain you with an example. If your company has money in the bank, if you have a building, or if you have cars that you have bought for the company with the company's money, all of that is part of the company's patrimony. They are the assets. In other words, if your company has $50,000 in the bank, well, those $50,000 are part of your assets because they are yours. You have them. The same happens with a company car, for example. The value of this car is part of the company. So if you own a company car which value is $25,000, those $25,000 are part of your company assets too. And in addition, in many cases, there are partners who contribute with lands or who have maybe their own buildings and say, hey, but I want to give you my building to set up the company. Well, all that I have just told you is part of the assets. Now, in second place, let's understand liabilities. Liabilities are all the obligations and all the debts that your company has. As simple as that. An obligation that perhaps the debt you have with a supplier to buy material or merchandise you need in order to keep your business running, or with a bank in the case of having a loan to operate, or a mortgage for the purchase of your business space. And definitely also the fixed or variable expenses that your company has. But don't worry with fixed or variable expenses because I will explain later throughout this course. So liabilities is in our balance sheet are those $20,000 in your business space rent and the $30,500 that you spend in buying merchandise for selling your products for your clients and the $50,000 for paying salaries, just for making an example. And finally, I'm going to explain you the concept of equity in our balance sheet. Equity refers to all the money or all the assets expressed in money that your company owns. An example to explain equity would be you are going to establish your company and in that company you are going to invest $80,000 to buy whatever needs to be bought. Those $80,000 are in your bank account. So you are going to have $80,000 in your assets. But Since you gave part of the rights to a partner, in case you have one, those $80,000 must be reflected as the company's equity. You are going to have the $80,000 reflected in your assets, but you are also going to have those $80,000 in the equity part because it was given by a partner, and that is the way in which the money that was invested can be stated, written in your balance sheet, but from the monetary parts. Now, yes, we can continue with our financial balance view. If you didn't understand what assets, liabilities, and equity are, it's quite a little difficult to continue. Just remember that you can go back to this explanation and repeat it as many times as you need. Once I say this, let's continue. Now, let's see assets, liability, and equity in practice in our balance statement. Don't be scared. I'm going to explain it step by step and easily.